What's up guys, Spade here, and today I want to go over a topic that I don't really have ever seen. There was a video kind of briefly about it, and most people are against it, so this video may not appeal to the majority of people, but it's something that definitely appeals to me, and I would like to share with you. And the topic I want to discuss here is using toy grenades in Airsoft. So if you don't play on an actual field where you pay to enter or whatnot, if you're more of those people that go out in the woods and play with their friends, kind of like skirmishes or whatever, then these might actually be a good idea. Now, regular grenades. They take either CO2 or gas, depending on which model or brand you have. And they shoot out BBs, they make a really loud noise, and that's pretty much it. If you get hit by it, you're out. Well, if you're not playing on an actual field, you don't have field regulations, you have your own regulations. And so, using toy grenades has a lot more room. Now, the reason why most people don't use toy grenades is, for one, these are kind of quiet. They don't make a really loud noise. And the second thing is, they don't shoot out BBs, they don't shoot out anything, they only make a noise. The only visual thing you have is seeing the grenade being thrown and this little red light up here that comes on after the pin has been pulled and the spoon has been squeezed. So why would you, in fact, use a toy grenade in Airsoft over a traditional grenade? Well, don't get me wrong. Traditional grenades are most definitely better. They're a lot more durable, and it's a lot more clear to know when you are hit. Now, the reason you might want to use these toy grenades is because they're a lot cheaper. If you're on a real tight budget, and if you're one of those people that go out in the woods and play with your friends, you might actually want to get a toy grenade because these only run on batteries. You don't have to replace anything for them, and you can get 4 of them for a very reasonable price. Now, keep in mind, when you have toy grenades in Airsoft, you have to be very careful of where and how far you throw them. So if you're playing indoors or anywhere that has hard ground, if you're playing out in a street or something, you wouldn't want to use these, because if these hit on a hard surface after you throw them, they will shatter and break. Because these are only made out of plastic, and again, keep in mind these are a kid's toy. They're not intended for Airsoft. So, don't throw these against trees, don't throw these on concrete, don't throw these on rocks. Make sure that wherever you throw these have a soft surface to hit. Now, if you do, have a hard surface area, I wouldn't suggest throwing these. I would suggest rolling these. Now, even when you roll these grenades, be careful of how hard you roll them, because if you throw them really hard and they smack into a wall or something, or into a door or wherever you're at, it can still shatter, or it can get a real nasty crack in there. There is a video on how to use these more for Airsoft, and that will be provided in the link below, where basically you can modify the interior. I don't want to say it's a circuit, but just the electronics of it, so that it works a lot more efficiently. It is a lot more louder and whatnot. But as these are stock, these actually are not bad for close quarter grenades. So in the scenario where you might want to use these is when you have a lot of people on you, or there's one guy that you can't get a beat on, but you know where he's at and he's close by. And if you can manage to get a grenade over near his position, well, he's going to have to flee or get out. Now, since these don't shoot anything, you have to kind of make your own rules. You can say if you're like in a 3-meter radius of these grenades, you are out when they go off. And I know there's a lot of downsides to having these grenades, but I prefer them over the actual grenades solely because I'm on a budget and I am poor. So when you get these grenades, if you do decide to get them, there is one thing you are going to want to do, and that is a very simple modification. Well, maybe for some people. I'm going to pull out the pin here without squeezing the spoon so it don't go off. But the original pin it comes with is this really cheap plastic ring that if you yank on it, it's gonna break the ring. So instead, what I suggest you do is get a little bit of wire or some sort of metal that bends easy, and just get it like one of these metal key rings, and Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just loop it around, make sure the keyring can't get out. And then make sure you make the hole in the grenade pin slot bigger so that it can actually fit the wire you are using. Just get that in there. These are a little tricky to put in sometimes. So a quick demonstration on how these work. So initially what you're supposed to do is squeeze down the spoon and pull the pin. And when you pull the pin, the red light will come on and this will start to make a noise. And I'll demonstrate that here right now. And that's pretty much it. But in the video that I shown in the description below, it shows you how to modify these things so that there's a 5-second timer before the sound goes off. Now, some good pros about just a sound grenade is that it also has a visual context, which has this red light on here, which can really help the person that's about to be hit by this thing actually see the grenade. Now, these do come in different colors. There are also this gray color grenade. Here, I'll move these back for you real quick. And you also get the black grenade. Now, just for authenticity, I prefer just the green grenades. So, I believe you can get these grenades for around $10. I might be wrong on that. But, I think they're very good for if you use them correctly and if you have a initial use for them. You don't want to be throwing these things super far. Now, where I play, you can't throw grenades very far because there's a lot of branch and twigs in the way. So, these are okay. Just make sure that you treat these more like close quarter grenades more than just regular grenades, and they should last you for as long as you want. Something I would suggest doing, if you have the material though, is putting a piece of foam or something, a soft material that can absorb shock around the grenade except near the spoon, so that if these do hit a grenade, you know, there's a chance that it can hit the foam part and it won't shatter or break. So overall, I would recommend these for airsoft if, you know, you're not playing at an actual field, if you're playing out in the woods or something. At an actual field, I don't think these would be allowed. It just depends on the field. You'd have to ask about that. And overall, I don't think these would be very recommended for out in an actual field because these can get stepped on. If these get stepped on, they will break. And these are pretty light. These are pretty fragile, but they can withstand being thrown if you throw them in good places for them. You just have to have good judgment before throwing these things. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you have any sort of questions about this product, which link to it will be in the description below, then feel free to ask on the comments section. So thank you guys for watching and have a nice day.